I think this is sad. I'm not a bad thing. I have a problem in my neighborhood, and I have talked to the sheriff department, and I'm very disappointed in Chief Thomas. I came to him when me and my husband came sit in our home. Well, you got gangs want to come in our yard and want to fight our children because our boys is friends with the schoolhouse boys. So it's a problem with the SLU boys, hate the schoolhouse boys, and it's sad. And I've talked to Chief Thomas about this and his officers. And it's sad, it's not enough, it's real pathetic, it's not enough police officers in our neighborhood, because at the time the incident happened with the fight with our children, UPAC was being broken into, while only 2 officers on duties at night over here at my home trying to break up a fight and it's sad. And Chief Thomas, and the real sad part about it, it's not enough officers. And I just want to know, how would you, I'm sure half everybody in here have children. How would you feel if that was your children, your child? You got guns, so you got little 14-year-olds having guns. So I'm worried about if one of my sons going to step out or whatever and get caught in a crossfire. But Mr. Thomas does not care. And I'm not going to, and I'm going to let it all out. If he can't do his job, someone else needs to sit in his place. But he knew everybody when he needed a vote. But when you got up in there, you didn't do your job. And it's sad to think about it when his officer is doing their job, then the officer doing what they're supposed to be doing, but he want to come in, certain mothers want to come in, oh, my child was at home. My God, your child was in my yard fighting. They had brass knuckles. Mr. McCarthy had just left my home. The officer, on February 20th, I was at my pastor's house. My husband was getting his hair cut. He called me and said, Denise, bring my wallet. Soon I got to my pastor's house, I got a phone call to come back home. I got a gang, the Marzels, the Colemans. And let me tell you, as said something, Mr. Johnson, I have never had a problem with your son until he moved over there. He got with the wrong, even so that's his auntie and those his cousins. He really don't need to be hanging with them at all. And he's a good person. He just don't need to be around them. And when I got the phone call to come home because Derek Blakely had a gun over there by my home, I'm speeding, trying to get to my boys. My oldest son, Cordell, is not here because he's at night school tonight. I'm getting off you. I got them, excuse my language, calling me, yeah, bitch, I'll pop you. And that's when I clicked. Officers came, even one of the sheriff department officers came. Mr. Howard went chasing him. When Derek Blakely saw Miss Officer Howard chasing him, he took off running, which the officer said, I know he had the gun, that's why he took off running, because he didn't want to get caught. So, okay, I'm up all night. Then Sunday, Mr. Howard stayed parked, and the other officer parked over there to Farrington Store watching, because they saw a group of boys, whatever. Mr. McCarthy wasn't gone from my home a good 10 minutes. Soon, when the officer left, and Mr. McCarthy left my home, that's when everything went crazy. Me and my husband in the bed. Sir?
Could I ask you, would you consider, if we were to, myself, Chief Thomas, and many parents, that we could possibly get together, and let's get together. And I know there's a problem with teenagers in our community, and it's something that we're going to have to address in a way that it can be addressed. Now I understand exactly the way you feel. I feel the same way you do, as far as the children running on a ramp rate. It's something that we have got to get a grip on. I would like that we come together and see if we can sit down, talk, and come to a reasonable solution to the problem and work toward that end. Would that be an agreement?
Let me say this. You know who I'm going to work with? The Sheriff Department, Sheriff Steve Pallett, because I have went and talked to him. He said, Angela, you don't have to call on the city. Just call me. Because I tried that. I went to parents talking to them. Oh, they want to get stupid and crazy. I don't have time for that. My thing is this right here. I love my children. And if I can't depend on Mr. Thomas, I'm going to have to depend on somebody else. I'm going to protect mine. He have a child. He love his child just where I love mine. And I'm going to protect my boys. I'm going to do it. Because he's not going to do anything. I'm sick of him lying. That's all he do is lie. I'm sick of it. And it will be no more. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to take whatever step I have to take. Because I went to him. And anytime he let someone come up there, and let me say this, and I'm going to leave. But this won't be the last. It's just the beginning. Me and my husband went up there on a Monday in his office after Monique Marzell going to put a bogus warrant. Mr. McCarthy went to Mr. Thomas that Monday, telling him the warrant was bogus. There's nothing I can do. Oh, me and my husband was arrested. Was arrested on a bogus warrant. Oh, but they're going to have to go on out there, but I'm going to call out there. They won't have to pay no money to bond out. That ain't good enough. I told him when I left it, that's not good enough. Then he's going to sit up there and tell us. He's sitting there while Monique Marzell is in his office and your son saying my husband, while the officers was there, he was throwing homemade harpoons, and what he said, Manye? Reel them back in. And he knew they was lying. But you still let that one. Even so, what got me with him, even so he know they was sitting up there lying after Mr. McCarthy went to him and told him those warrants were bogus. He still didn't do nothing. Oh, they're going to have to go on out there because the judge. Like Mr. Palace said, he could have called the judge and never had that one served. But like I say, when the next election time comes, I'm going to put a big sign in my yard and say, do not vote for Lester Thomas because he's a big liar. And that's what he is. So I'm through. I'm not meeting with no parents. I'm going to do what I have to do to protect my children because I cannot depend on Chief Thomas to do anything but lie. So if you let a bogus one, if you let someone do a bogus one, it's certain ones. See, if you ain't in that little clique, you can't get help. But I'm going to get help through the Sheriff Department from Sheriff Steve Pallett. And I told him that. He know the one is bogus. He knew it. Mr. McCarthy told him. But he don't care. Just like his officers. That's not the first time officers have been by my home with guns, with these boys. If you won't join our game, we're going to bully you. You won't bully, not the Malones. And I don't uphold my child. I sent one of mine to jail. I told the officer to take him to jail. I don't uphold my boys. I do not uphold him. He was sitting up there and said, take him to jail. He was arrested. Mr. Thomas said, do you want... I told him, I don't want you to let him out. I let him sit. When I was ready to get him out, I paid someone to go bond him out. Because he got away. And that's what all this is. When you try to be friends with someone, when you don't want to do... If you can't do what they want you to do, they bully you. But he have a daughter. Better be mindful. Because you never know. You never know what may cross your way with your child. And you don't know who you may have to call on. He should have never. And Mama said this, and my sister said an incident when the Chief Mitch Renner used to be in office. The same thing happened in her yard. That some girls came in her yard and they had a big fight. Well, they came and put a bogus one on my sister. But the late Mr. Renner just called my sister up, gave her a court date, and he went to Johnny Booth and talked in the behalf of my sister, and Mr. Booth threw that out of court. But just like I said, if you ain't in that big click, you can't get no help. But when election time, you know how to come knock on the door and ask for a vote. But don't come to the Malones because you won't get it, and none of their family. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, this meeting is adjourned. Until Monday night, 6 o'clock.